global interstate system is now a global economy with a global political system. Refers to the relationship between different states and unions. It also includes all the cultural aspects and the interaction networks of human population. What is the main purpose of global interstate system? To contribute to peace and security by promoting internationally collaboration through educational, scientific, and cultural reforms in order to increase universal respect for justice, the rule of law, and human rights, along with fundamental freedom. Importance of global interstate system. A hegemon is a core state that has a significantly greater amount of economic power than any other state and that takes on the political role of system leader. It is talk about the leadership in a state like the US. They have a powerful influence. They have a more influence economic system because of their abundance of leadership. principles of global interstate system. Country-states are sovereign in governance and law, but they make economic and legislative compromises for mutual benefit with other sovereign jurisdiction. The world system perspective emerged during the World Revolution of 1968 and the anti-war movement that produced a generation of scholars who saw the peoples of global south, then they called the third world, as more than an underdeveloped backwater. It became widely understood that a global power structure existed and that the people of non-core had been active participants in their own liberation. The history of colonialism and decolonization were seen to have importantly shaped the structures and institutions of the whole global system. A more profound awareness of Eurocentrism was accompanied by the realization that most national histories had been written as if each country were on the moon. The nation-state as an inviolate, pristine unit of analysis was now seen to be an inadequate model for the sociology of development. The modern core of the includes the United States and the countries Europe, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. World system theory is a macro-scale approach to analyzing the world's history of the mankind and social changes in different countries. The definition of the theory refers to the division of labor, be it in regionally, transnationally. Currently, the theory divides the world into the core, semi-periphery, and periphery countries. World system are whole system in interacting polities and settlements. Systemness means that these policies and settlements are interacting with one another in important ways. Interactions are two-way, necessary, structured, regularized, and reproductive. Core nations appear to be powerful, wealthy, and highly independent of outside control. They are able to deal with bureaucracies effectively. They have powerful militaries and can boast with strong economies due to the resources that are available to them, mainly intellectual. They are able to be at the forefront of technological progress and have a significant influence on less developed non-core nations. Semi-peripheral nations, these regions have a less developed economy and are not dominant in the international trade. In terms of their influence of the world economies, they end up midway between the core and periphery countries. However, they strive to get into a dominant position of the core nation, and it was proved historically that it is possible to gain major influence in the world and become a core country. Semi-peripheral countries contribute to the manufacturing and exportation of a variety of goods. Examples of semi-peripheral countries are India, China, Indonesia, Mexico, Brazil, South Africa, and Philippines. Peripheral nations. These are the nations that are the least economically developed. One of the main reasons for their peripheral status is the high percentage of uneducated people who can mainly provide cheap and skilled labor to the core nation. There is a very high level of social inequality together with a relative weak government which is unable to control countries' economic activity and the extensive influence of the core nation. emphasizes the dyadic nature of this structural relationship between the urban and the rural that is common within industrial democracies. What I guess that would be all. Thank you, sir. God bless.
Good day to each and everyone. Good day, sir. So I will continue the discussion. So this I will tackle about the types of market integration. So there are three basic kinds of market integration: the horizontal integration, and the vertical integration, and the conglomeration. So what is horizontal integration? Horizontal integration is the acquisition of a business operating at the same level of the value chain in the same industry. This is in contrast to vertical integration, where firms expand into upstream or downstream activities which are at different stages of production. So what are the examples of horizontal integration? So there are three examples of horizontal integration: the merger of Marriott and the Starwood Hotels in 2016, the merger of Anheuser-Busch InBev and Submiller in 2016, and the last example is the merger of the Walt Disney Company and the 21st Century Fox in 2017. So vertical integration. Vertical integration is a strategy whereby a company owns and controls its suppliers, distributors, or retailers' locations to control its value and supply chain. Vertical integration benefits companies by allowing them to control processes, reduce costs, and improve efficiencies. So these are the examples of vertical integration. The technology giant Apple is one of the examples, which has retail locations to sell their branded products, as well as the manufacturing facilities around the globe. For example, in 2012, Apple acquired Authentic, which makes that Touch ID fingerprint sensor that goes into the iPhones. So this examples is very legit because most of us using iPhones because of its high quality camera and its internal storages. So the next is the conglomerate. A conglomerate can be defined as a company or corporation that is made up of different businesses that operate in various industry or sectors that are often unrelated. So example of this, the MIPSA 1 and MIPSA 2 in Lapu-Lapu City. In MIPSA 1 there are several corporations and several companies. It made up of different businesses. So conglomeration described as the process by which conglomerate is created, as when a parent company begins to acquire subsidiaries. Conglomeration often results in a new company that is large multi-industry and multinational company. So several word examples of conglomerate will provide a good feel for this interesting model of business. So examples of conglomeration is the Honeywell, a diverse giant. Honeywell is a well-known industrial name. So the second example is Lockheed Martin, a defense industry powerhouse, and the Walt Disney Company. So this is very well known company, and Google company, not just a search company, but the last one is the Samsung. Uh, that could be all. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is James de Lucerna, and I will be reporting today some parts about market integration. And all right, let's start. So, as you can see on my screen, uh, market integration with regards to migration. So, migration is principal mechanism by which household in less developed countries, also known as LDCs, especially in rural areas, become directly inserted into the global economy. So, migration. We all know what is migration. So, it's going to another country, living there, becoming a citizen. So, it really helps the global economy. That's why uh, a lot of countries accepts migrants, so that they will, because migrants help boost one country's economy. For example, Canada, a lot of migrants has been accepted in Canada because they need people to boost their economy. Next, next will be oh yeah, it's the continuation about migration. So, globalization is not internalization, but the effective erasure of national boundaries. So, opening the way not only to free mobility of capital and goods, but also, in effect, to free movement or uncontrolled migration of vast labor tools from regions of rapid population growth, and the impacts on national economies could be tragic. So, boundaries, national boundaries. So it's an opening. For example, like I said, Canada, Philippines and Canada. So Canada has been accepting migrants to help their economy be boosted because they need people to work there. And then in terms, there's also a part of market integration that talks about microeconomics. So how does microeconomics affect globalization, though? So, microeconomics of globalization refers also to the myriad ways in which economic actors also may become inserted into the global economy indirectly through their relations with other economic agents with local, regional, and national markets. So, it's all about uh, economy. We're talking about economy right now, so it really boosts one country's economy. So it is this also what is microeconomics? It is the study of economic behavior of individual, household, and firms. So there are two types of this one. Macroeconomics is the bigger scale of economics. So let's focus up in microeconomics. So where, as you can see there, where macroeconomics also, I mean, microeconomics looks at the big picture of the economy. Microeconomics looks at the individual behaviors that drive the economic processes. So it focuses on an individual or a small group, let's say a small community that's already microeconomic. So there are examples of microeconomics. First will be demand, second is supply, third will be prices, fourth elasticity, fifth, opportunity cost. Sixth, labor economics. Competition, competitive advantage. Ninth will be consumer choice. 10th will be consumer confidence. 11 will be business confidence. 12 will be information economics. 13 will be welfare economics, and then lastly productivity. So let us go ahead and tackle demand. So how demand for goods is influenced by income preference, prices, and other factors such as expectation. So demand, so it is something that, a demand. What is a demand? So it is a so what is demand? So a demand is an insistent and peremptory request made as if by right. So with regards to this one, the demand is not the same as the uh, noun, the definition of noun, but it is different. With regards to microeconomics, so this is demand and supply comes together. So what is supply first? Supply is how we produce, how producers decide to enter market, scale production, and exit the markets. So as you can see, like I said, they come together. So if demand falls, supply rises because there's nothing to supply. I mean, if you keep on supplying, but the demand is very low, so that's why it rises. Um, Counter to that, demand if the supply, I mean, if the demand rises, supply falls. So, for example, for this one is a part of a computer, which is a GPU, also known as graphics card. Uh, as of the moment, the demand is really high because the supply is very low. There's a lot of people who is buying buying and upgrading their graphics card. Uh, and because of that, prices will affect uh, the prices will affect the equipment. So, how individuals, households, and firms react to prices and influence prices with their supply and demand. So, for example, the observation that some customary prices appear to be sticky in the consumer resists buying above a particular historically established price. So, like I said, if before it's like 7,000, because the demand is high and the supply is low, it may rise up to say 8,000 or 9,000. It depends. So, and also elasticity. Elasticity is how supply demand reacts to change. For example, a household that demands less of a good when the prices increase due to availability of substitute. So, like I said, if ever the demand is high or low, it really affects the price, and the economic economy will be will react on it, and it will really affect the prices. And then lastly will be opportunity costs. So the trade-offs of trade-offs that individuals and firms make to manage constrained resources such as time, money, capital, and land. So for example, you spend time and money going to a movie, you cannot spend that time at home reading a book, and you can't spend the money on something else. So, like I said, opportunity cost, it may help you. It's an investment to yourself to be a better self. Um, as you can see in the picture, so if you study a lot, there will be benefit. Or you will just waste your time or free time watching TVs. So it will really affect the trade. So the next will be a video, or wait, labor economics. So modeling the supply and demand for labor, focus on human capital, referring to the skills that the worker possess, not necessarily their actual work. So for example, looking at how expectation for economic growth impact the labor participation. So as you can see in the picture, land gives us rent, labor gives us wages, capital gives us interest, and then enterprises give us profit. So there will be a video that I will be presenting. It talks about market integration. I hope you will like it. is an overview of market integration. All right, so that will be all for my report.
Good day, everyone. So, I'm the cadet Italian Jasper Jesse, and without further ado, let me introduce to you two microeconomics competition. So, there are three types of competition: direct competitors, indirect competitors, and phantom competitors. So, what differs between the three competitors? So, let's tackle the direct competitors first. Direct competitors have the same sector and the same product, meaning um, like they are in the same sector of food. So both competitors are in the sector of food, so they are the same and the same product. Example like burger. So they both sell burger, and that's what they call the same product and the same sector. And their competitors offer better value to gain customers. So in order to win against a competitor, in the direct competitors, they fight for the value of the product. So they offer better value to gain customers. So most likely, the the lesser the cost, the more customers they gain. So, but not all scenario that less if you have less expensive product, the more customers you gain, because sometimes customers have different preferences. Some prefer about the quality of the food rather than its price. So an example, let's give an example of direct competitors. An example of direct competitors is McDonald's, uh, Burger King, and Big Mac. So Burger King and Big Mac has the same product, which is burger, and in the same sector, which is food. So the Burger King and the Big Mac, what they do is, uh, between their competition, the most likely the factor that gives them the upper hand is their price, the price of their product. So the better the offer they give, the more customers they gain, and that's what they fight for. That's what their market about. about having a better deal to their customers. So the next competitor is within the competition of indirect competitors. So indirect competitors have the same sector but different products, and sometimes they release offers and promotions to attract customers. So the example of this is McDonald's, between a McDonald's and a Burger King. So they fall in the category of food, and they're in the same category. And while their products are totally not the same. So what my point is that McDonald's sees Burger King as a competitor because there is a high chance that Burger King might satisfy their customers because they are both food but different products, and the consumers might be interested to go to. So they see Burger King as a competitor even though they have different products. So that's how indirect competitors work. So they don't have the same product but they are in the same sector, and there is a high chance that the other product might satisfy or grab your customers because of their product. The next competition is between phantom competitors. So they have different sector altogether. Difficult. They are difficult to compete against as not connected to our sector. So the third competition is between the phantom competitors, or also called replacement competitors. So that's both different in category and type than you, but one which your customer could choose to spend their money instead. So if you're selling in a food, category, and your food is burger, your competitor in this competition is totally different. They have different sector from you. They have different product from you. But the problem here is that there is a high chance that their product might grab your customer, and your customer could choose them to spend their money instead, and that's why you're having a competition with them, because there's a high chance that they will grab your customers, and losing customers is bad for your business. So an example for this is McDonald's and stuff for frozen meals. So they are totally different category. In terms of category, they are different, and they differ also in their product. But McDonald's sees Stouffer's frozen meals as a competitor because there is a high chance that his customers will be grabbed by the other product, and it makes McDonald's sees Stouffer frozen meals as a competitor to their product. So with that in mind, let's say that McDonald's had higher performance rate. Let's say McDonald's has a higher performance rate than the Stuffer frozen meal, and this higher rate than his other competitors, higher performance than his other competitors, is called competitive advantage, which leads us to the next slide. So competitive advantage is the ability of certain firms to outcompete all competition in a particular area. So there are 3 tips to determine your competitive advantage. So the first one is the price, the second one is the product, and the third one is the customer experience. So an example is a sporting goods company with superior brand recognition and a positive brand image that can charge premium prices and still enjoy high demand for its product. So this is a good example. Why? Because it says that the company has they charge costly prices to their consumers with their product, but why do they sell But why do they seem to sell more even though they have um, pricey product? That's because that's because of the product, the quality of the product, and the customer experience they gave to their customers. So it says that a superior brand recognition, meaning the quality of the product is the best in the market. And the next thing is that they have a positive brand image, which means that they have good customer experience, so they satisfy their customers. So even though they have a costly product, their customers will come to their company because of their other qualities, good quality of product, and the next one is good customer experience. So the three things that determine your competitive advantage is very important in your company, not only for the company but also for your customers. So if you have these three things and you have good performance of these things, then your customers will certainly come back to your company and both or buy your products. The next thing is the consumer choice. So it talks about how needs, perceptions, and information shape consumer choices. So there are two influences on a person's consumption choice. First is their income. Second is the prices of the goods. For example, the idea that consumers maximize their expected utility of purchase, meaning that they buy the things they expect to be most useful to them. So their needs, perceptions, and information shape. So information shape, these are their income, prices of the goods. So these things matter because if you have low income, then you intend to buy more saving product, products that cost you less. And prices of goods, this also matter because like there are two products here and they are both the same. They have both the same purpose, but the other one is costly and the other one is less costly. So they have the same quality, they have the same purpose, and they are both good. And people tend to buy the less costly because they have saved money, and even though even though it's less costly, it has also good quality, and it competes with the other one, the other product. So it's very important. These are factors that are very important that influences person's consumption, their income, and the prices of goods. Other than that, the needs and perceptions of a consumer also affects their choices. So in the example is that they buy things they expect to be most useful to them. It's their needs. So consumers tends to buy important things that they need. They don't buy things that they are needed because they are wasting money. So if you're in a market, then you're not, if you're in the market and you want to be successful, you don't sell product that isn't needed by your target consumers. So you sell products that you know that your consumer, the target consumer you want, needs it. So that's why because consumers tend to buy things that are useful to them. So the next one is consumer confidence. So how consumer expectations for the future influence spending, saving, investment, and labor participation. Consumer confidence is an economic indicator that measures the degree of optimism that consumers feel about their overall state of the economy and their personal financial situation. Example, when consumer confidence is high, consumer makes more purchases. So if depends on how your consumer expects for the future. For example, if the consumer expects a less salary in the future, then he will tend to purchase less. But if your consumer expects a good salary next week, maybe he will purchase more because of the consumer's confidence that he can afford that he can afford to buy more. So that's called consumer confidence. So during an economic expansion, um, consumer confidence is usually high, and the increase in consumer spending in turns helps the economy to sustain the expansion. And if for some reason the consumer confidence declines, the consumer gets to be less certain about their financial prospect, and they tend to spend less money. And if this happens, and will cause a great effect to the businesses, it may slow our economy, which eventually leads to a recession. This recession, if happens, our country, especially in times like this where we are facing a pandemic, might be hit hard of the economy, of the downfall of the economy, and the people in this and the people would be suffering a lot of pressure and problems that have risen due to the recession of our economy. The next thing is the business confidence. So this talks about how producer expectations for the future influence hiring, capital investment, and supply. So business confidence index provides information on future developments based upon opinions, surveys on developments in production orders and stock of finished goods in the industry sector. So the producers expectations for the future is measured on business confidence index, which states about future developments. So for example, now UCMTC is expecting August to perform a limited face to face. So they might hire more. They might tend to hire more personnel. They might invest capital for the limited face to face, and buy more supply, because they expect to operate a limited face to face in the university, and this influences the customers flow, which means that there will be more students in the campus. There will be more enrollees, trainees, because this is what we are waiting for, a limited face to face. And it is expected that there will be more customers, students, trainees here in the UCMTC if we held a face to face. So the next subject is three basic kinds of market integration. So I will tackle about horizontal integration. So this occurs when a firm or agency gains control of other firms or agencies performing similar marketing functions at the same level in the marketing sequence. So this type of integration sometimes combine agencies to form a union with a view to reduce their effective number and the extent of actual competition in the market. So to simply say, horizontal integration is when a company wishes to grow through horizontal integration. So for example, company X wants to grow through horizontal integration. So the primary goal of the company is to acquire similar company in the same industry. So they will be taking company in the same industry. The goal is to this will lead to lessen the competitors in the market. So other goals include increasing in size, creating economies of scale, increasing market power over distributors and suppliers, increasing product or services differentiation, expanding the company's market, or entering a new market and reducing competition. So when a company wishes to grow through horizontal integration, they tend to acquire similar company, as what I have said, but acquiring and acquiring this similar company in the same industry gives them many benefits, and one of it is they increase in their size. They increase their market power, so they in the market they gain more space. They gain more space in the market, so because they are acquiring their competitors. For example, if McDonald's, for example, today UCMTC just um, UCMTC, the president, Sir Attorney Go, bought Saint Paul. So Saint Paul, let's say Saint Paul was a competitor of UCMTC, and Attorney Go just bought Saint Paul, which gave him more space in the area of Mambaling. I mean in Cebu City, because in that way, acquiring similar company, you're expanding your power, and that's why increasing market power over distributors and suppliers is all about. So, and it also increase product or service differentiation and expanding the company's market of entering a new market. So, this is very important, horizontal integration. So, an example of horizontal integration, two or more companies produce the same goods or services, is also known as horizontal merger. So, Burger King, Wings, and Arby's into McDonald's. So horizontal merger is about, for example, McDonald's. McDonald's is, we can call him an all-purpose market, because let's say Burger King sells burger, then Wings, they sell, for example, Wings restaurant, so they sell chicken wings. Then there's Arby's, let's just say they sell fries. So burger, fries, and chicken wings, they are all served in McDonald's. So McDonald's is a horizontal merger, because he's getting all the products in one business. So two or more companies produce the same goods or services, is also known as horizontal merger. So he's acquiring the products of the many companies and sell in his company, which gives him a chance that he will increase in customer, because it's an all-purpose company. And when you enter their franchise, you can buy burger, you can buy wings, you can buy fries. So it's more convenient for his consumers, and this will give him a positive feedback from his consumers, and his consumers tends to come to his company for the convenience he gave. So that's horizontal merger. The next thing is the effects of horizontal integration. So first is buying out competitor in a time-bound way to reduce competition. So I have tackled this already, that horizontal integration leads to less competitors, because you're acquiring a company that have the same field than with your company, then gaining larger share of the market and higher profit. So you're expanding your power in the market, because you're buying competitors. So, and the next one is attaining economies of scale. So if you're having good space in the market, if you're attaining good power in the market, then you'll have good economy. Your company will have good profits. Then specializing in trade. So advantage of horizontal integration. So the advantage of this is lower cost, then higher efficiency, increased differentiation, increased market power, reduced competition, economies of scale, economics of scopes, and international trade. So I have already discussed this. Um, this is not lower cost. Lower cost. We can say that it's lower cost because um, you bought, for example, you bought the company, you bought the other company, the similar company of yours, you bought it in a price, but the return of buying that company is much more greater than the price you bought it. Then higher efficiency, so you're expanding your power efficiently and very easy because you're just buying the company, the other company, and you don't need to start from the scratch because you're actually buying the company already and it has a system already and it's very efficient. Then increased differentiation, increased market power. I've said that already. Reduced competition. So because of buying similar companies, you reduce your competitors. Economics of scale, economics of scopes, and international trade. So disadvantage of horizontal integration. So destroyed value, legal repercussions, and reduced flexibility. So destroyed. So destroyed value. So horizontal integration. This will lead. Sometimes it leads to monopoly, and when it comes to monopoly, your company might be having price fixing, low quality products, lack of incentive and innovation, and cost push inflation. So if you're the only competitor in the market, then your company will lose its value. So if you're practicing horizontal integration, remember that you should not practice it often. So use it effectively, so that it won't destroy your value in the market. Then legal repercussions and reduce flexibility. So when your company practices horizontal integration, it reduces in the future. If you always practice that um, procedure, then later on it will be difficult to manage. So the larger organization often becomes too wide and inflexible to manage. So they face more difficulty to manage as they are less flexible in introducing products to the new markets, and it's a very disadvantage. And it's a very disadvantage of horizontal integration. So the reason for the above problem can be difference in the leadership styles, office culture, and organizational structure of the company. So it all depends on the leadership style of the company. So because, for example, if for example in school, I prefer a group of 3 than a group of 5, because when I'm having a group of 5 of students, it's we're being inflexible and it's hard to manage them because I have to manage 4 people. Unlike if I have only 2 members, we can be flexible and I can manage them as easily. So if it's the same in a larger organization, it becomes too wide, too inflexible to manage. So it's an disadvantage of horizontal integration, because you are acquiring other competitors and you're becoming wide. And because of you becoming wide, a wide company, you also it affects your flexibility to manage the other parts of your company. So that will be all in my part, and thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Ling, and today we're going to discuss all things horizontal integration. Horizontal integration is the acquiring of businesses at the same level of the supply chain. For example, manufacturers buying other manufacturing companies. The result can be obtained by internal or external expansion through acquisition or mergers. In order for the integration to be horizontal, the company must offer similar products and services. A merger occurs when two companies combine together to become a joint organization. On the flip side, an acquisition happens when one company takes over another company completely. Acquisition tends to have a slightly more negative connotation, where mergers are a little more friendly. There's many advantages to horizontal integration. You can expand your market by purchasing companies in another geographic location, gain resources common to different products, and reduce the cost of international trade. However, horizontal integration can also come with its disadvantages. If a company buys another company and the expected benefits never materialize, it can cause a reduction in overall value of the firm. There also can be legal repercussions if a horizontal merger results in a monopoly. This is not to be confused with vertical integration, which acquires companies in other areas of the supply chain to expand, like sourcing your own raw materials for manufacturing. Horizontal integration is most effective when the organization's industry is growing and when competitors lack the capabilities and skills the company already possesses. The company also needs sufficient resources to manage the acquired or merging company. In 2012, Facebook decided to utilize horizontal integration by the acquisition of Instagram for a reported $1 billion. They both operated in the social media industry and were in similar stages of service. Facebook saw this as an opportunity to grow, reduce competition, and access new audiences. To battle creative stagnation and market saturation, the Walt Disney Company bought Pixar Animated Studios in 2006. Another example of horizontal integration, this acquisition cost a whopping $7.4 billion, but brought forth cutting-edge technology and a vision more innovative than ever. Horizontal integration can be very strategic, and doing it in the correct way can grow a business exponentially. I hope this video gave you a clearer understanding of horizontal integration and how it can be applied to businesses.